Quick gut check. Black students make up about 15% of US public schools, yet only 7% of their teachers look like them. Scroll through social media and you'll see the same excited post. Finally, a show about black educators. Abbott Elementary gets the confetti. But is Quinta Brunson's hit really the first time we've seen black teachers headline a series? Or have we just been nudged to forget the rest? Tonight, we're rewinding past laugh tracks, prestige drama, even VHS static to ask, is Abbott the lone example or the rare one the culture finally let stick around? So today at the Movie Insurrectionist, we're going to honor black teachers this back-to-school season with the question, is Abbott Elementary the only representation of black teachers? What's good? This is the Movie Insurrectionist. Welcome to our latest media analysis. Before we get started, please subscribe to our channel by pressing the button located to the right corner of your screen. Press the bell icon, make a comment in the comment section, like the video, share it, and follow us on X. Now, let's do this. Old Hollywood rarely let a black actor near a classroom unless it was to mop the floor or empty the garbage. Then, 1967's To Sir with Love flips the script. Sidney Poitier strides in as Mark Thackeray, a Guyanese engineer turned East End London teacher with a sharp suit, unshakable calm, and professional demeanor. He isn't a foundational black American, but for millions, he was the first representation of a black man running a class in cinema. Perhaps To Sir with Love is the progenitor of the benevolent teacher enlightening inner city children in a dilapidated school movie troupe, which became a blueprint for other Hollywood movies about education. Jump to 1970, and we have Halls of Anger, starring Calvin Lockhart. He teaches in a LA school on fire with racial tension. Although you can see an unknown Jeff Bridges and Rob Reiner in this film, this movie is complete fantasy, filled with black stereotypes and historical inaccuracies as white students are bused to a predominantly black inner city high school. In reality, black South Los Angeles students were bused to predominantly white schools starting in 1972 because of the 1970 Crawford versus Los Angeles Board of Education case, which outlawed northern de facto segregation in LAUSD schools. With that being said, Halls of Anger has no historical merit whatsoever. However, Lockhart's character is intellect, anger, but reluctant to return to his roots within the inner city because of the rowdy behavior and underfunding of the campus. Unlike Sidney Poitier's performance in To Sir with Love, Lockhart's character is determined to ease the racial tensions by teaching literacy and black history to his black and white students. That matters because Halls of Anger, although not as well known, is one of the earliest depictions of an FBA educator in a predominantly black, underperforming inner city school. Fast forward to neon spandex 80s and 90s, networks finally realized black viewers aren't niche. They're the main event. Enter The Steve Harvey Show, 1996. Steve trades Motown stardom for a Chicago classroom. Every joke doesn't land, but week after week, audiences saw an FBA educator mentoring gifted kids, juggling budgets, even dating beautiful women. A few years earlier, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air gifts us Janice Hubbard as Vivian Banks, PhD. Yes, she's Aunt Viv first, but classroom scenes show her demanding excellence from Will, Carlton, and their white classmate at Bel Air Prep. She isn't there to comfort, she's there to challenge. And of course, there's a different world. Though college set, it gives us steady shots of Dr. Barnes, Colonel Brad Taylor, and Professor Howard Randolph as professors. Weeknight television suddenly normalizes the idea that black folks don't just attend school, but we run them on all levels. Comedy broke the ice, but drama poured concrete. In 1989's Lean On Me, Morgan Freeman storms in as Joe Clark, a domineering, no-nonsense, baseball bat-wielding New Jersey principal with a heart of gold and passion to revitalize an once glorious high school. This film builds on the foundation set by To Sir with Love and Halls of Anger by presenting some of the same tropes, but unlike those stories, this movie was based on true events. Joe Clark was a real person. He was a drill sergeant in the US Army who ran his school like a boot camp and said questionable things about the people in the community that he served. Perhaps this is the most prolific movie about education. And among FBA people, Joe Clark is the most memorable role for Morgan Freeman. Critics knocked the tough love trope, yet Morgan Freeman's performance forced America to confront failing inner-city schools and the black administrators left to fix them. Boston Public gives us Marla Hendricks, history teacher whose storylines tackle race, mental health, and union politics. She's not the sassy sidekick, she's the moral compass in a sea of gray. Need prestige? How to Get Away with Murder, 2014, positions Annalise Keating as a law professor. Yes, it's murder soap, but every lecture hall scene reminds viewers that black people can command elite academic spaces while dissecting constitutional law. Want indie realism? 2016's The Fits offers a gender-flip twist. A black male gym coach mentoring young girls in Cincinnati. This teacher is quiet, supportive, and completely free of the Save Them Messiah complex Hollywood adores. Small film, huge resonance. So if the evidence is stacked, Portier to Clark to Hightower to Keating, why does Abbott Elementary feel like the first? 3 forces erase the footprint. 1. Scarcity. Black teacher characters pop up, but rarely stick around for syndication. A 6-episode arc can't compete with a decade-long Seinfeld rerun. 2. Genre bias. Comedies get dismissed as just jokes, even when they're sneaking in sharp policy critiques. Dramas with black educators often get labeled urban niche, which means they leave streaming platforms faster than you can spell algorithm. And 3. Respectability politics. Many earlier portrayals leaned on respectability to gain white approval. Perfect diction, tailored suits, saintly patience. Audiences remember the performance, not the person. Abbott breaks that by letting Janine be messy, Melissa be shady, Barbara be tired. Flaws are memory glue. Perfection is sand. Premiering December 2021, Abbott snags 7 Emmys and a ratings climb every season. Why? It weaponizes familiarity. The mockumentary format borrows from The Office, but the faces in front of the whiteboard are Chocolate City, Philly. Viewers recognize the underfunded hallways, the donors gone wild pages, the perpetual supply shortage. Authenticity sells. Yet the show's secret sauce is scale. Network sitcoms historically reserve 1 black teacher per cast. Abbott stacks the faculty. You get Barbara's veteran wisdom, Melissa's Philly bluntness, Janine's idealism, Gregory's gentle rigor. 4 dimensions in a medium that once gave us 1. Crucially, the writers refuse to isolate race from policy. When a district evaluator docks points because the kindergarten rug looks too lived in, we watch coded bias in real time. When Barbara's decades of experience get dismissed by a 20-something consultant, we see ageism and racism braid together. That intersectional lens is why critics call the series revolutionary. Not because black teachers never existed on screen, but because the system finally lets them exist in full. Does Abbott Elementary owe its ancestors? Absolutely. The compassionate counterweight to Joe Clark's bat. Janine's relentless optimism echoes Steve Hightower's faith in his music prodigy student. Ava's chaotic admin style? Picture Boston Public's Principal Harper if she grew up on TikTok. But Abbott's innovation is intersectionality within one building. Earlier shows typically gave us 1 black educator to carry every burden. Abbott spreads the load. So no single character becomes the universal black experience. That multiplicity is the upgrade critics keep sensing, even if they can't articulate the history behind it. So, is Abbott Elementary the only representation of black teachers? Of course not. It's the first many of us were collectively allowed to remember because Hollywood finally married scale, nuance, and marketing. The amnesia wasn't accidental, it was structural. When earlier shows get buried in licensing limbo, when DVD box sets skip season 4, when streamers categorize black cast as urban instead of feel-good, the archive evaporates. Tonight, we've rewound the tape and found Sydney, Marla, Vivian, Steve, Annalise, proof that black educators have been teaching on screen for half a century. Abbott didn't invent the portrait, it just hung it where the whole class can see. If this history surprised you, share this video with a friend who honor black teachers. And hey, while you're down here, tap like, smash subscribe, and tell me which forgotten educator I should cover next. Class dismissed. And remember, the theatrical release will never be televised.